feeling like I'm Akademiks.
Good. Yeah, y'all could do a poll. I would love to see y'all do a poll. Could y'all run a poll to let me know what y'all think? Kind of want to get on Discord for a second to see what y'all are feeling about it. I can't sit here and in good conscience tell you this is whack. For me to say that would be me lying. And at the end of the day, I love music, even if I have my favorites on one side. And I don't think it's whack. I don't think it's whack. Okay? It kept me interested. He threw a few jabs. He was still saying some shit. I'm wondering why YG wasn't on the album. We saw well, there's a lot of people that didn't make the album still, right? Because we didn't hear Schoolboy Q. But he might be saving. Again, I'm thinking of GNX as a tape, right? I'm thinking of it like a mixtape. So I'm guessing he's gonna still have an album. Now, is the album gonna drop before the Super Bowl or after it? I would probably say after, right after, in the immediate aftermath. And that one's gonna be the really produced, like, new wave of Kendrick, and I would imagine that we would see some of the things we ain't see on this one, right? A lot more, a Kendrick album is a cohesive body of work from if we could just go off history and experience with Kendrick. It's really cohesive. Okay? So seeing the intros and outros blended. As a matter of fact, you know who just hit me up? AD. Let me get AD on the line. I get AD on the line. Let me see. I'm trying to get 80 online. Okay. Let me see. Where's 80? 80 hit me and said it was album of the year. Holy. Welcome, everybody. If you guys are tuning in via YouTube, we just listened to Kendrick Lamar's album on Twitch. We couldn't listen to it on YouTube, but he dropped an impromptu album called GNX. And 12 songs. Didn't list any features, but he did have features. And yeah, essentially, we listened to it. Okay, he'll call me back. Essentially, I kind of came up with a rating of, it's probably either, for me, it's like an 8 or a 9 out of 12 in songs that I think are passable and good. And yeah, I got to give credit and props for that. Here we go.
All right, what's the deal?
Yo, what's going on, brother?
Come on, man. It's a good day. West side, west side.
Man, can I ask one personal question before I ask the rest?
No. Before you ask a personal question,
Yeah.
You got to retract what you said.
About what?
You said Dot wasn't going to give none of them niggas on stage no features. He put all the young homies on from the city on the album.
Well, this is what I would say. I think I'll say something better. I think we encouraged him to do that. I don't care why he did it, though, but he did do it. So I'll give him credit for doing it. So, and I thought that was a great look. I thought it was a great look, even though he could have still named them on the songs because we got to do some Googling, but fans do that anyway. But I do think that was a good look. That was a good look, AD.
And then, too, like, the little homie Siete on there, too. So I know you wasn't familiar with him. That's my little homie from the section. You know what I mean?
Okay. What song were they on?
He on Dodger Blue.
Ah.
He got Wally the Sensei on there. He got Roddy Ricch on that motherfucker. And shout out to, bro, he got a lot of young talent out there. He got Young Threat on there. He got Dodie Six on there. He got Lefty Gunplay.
Yep. Lefty's on there?
He got Hitter. Yep, he got Hitter J3 on that motherfucker. He got AZ Chike, who also made Schoolboy Q album as well, too. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
it's a lot of dope people from the city on the album.
Hey, do you think the culture bullied Kendrick into doing that, or did he want to do it? Because there was for a second people were saying, yo, you got all this clout, but you're not sharing it with nobody. People are showing up on your behalf, but you're not showing up on theirs. People's albums coming out, you're not even tweeting it. You're not even really doing anything. How do you think that this was a Kendrick idea, or he saw like, yo, because there was some backlash out there in the community. Not the community, but like there was backlash in the hip hop community.
No, but that's the thing. This shit, like, a lot of this stuff been in the works for a long time.
Really?
Like he's been wanting to, like, put certain people on, and certain people behind the scenes I already knew. I know my little homie, he had to sign an NDA and stuff like that too. So it was a lot of stuff that was coming. I mean, look, you gotta think about it, bro. As an artist, you about to do the Super Bowl. He could have kept it all about himself. He said, let me put the next generation of West Coast artists on. And to me, that speaks volumes, especially for everybody in the city.
That is
and for everybody, for every other region as well too, to do the same in return.
That is dope. I do have one thing I would ask with that, but before I ask that, is this an album or a mixtape? I term it as a mixtape. I don't think this is his official next album. I think this is a good thing to drop off to hold us over for 2 to 3 months before the Super Bowl. He puts on a bunch of artists. Yeah, we still get a couple big features on there. Roddy appears on there. We see SZA on there, but he's kind of like giving back, right? He dropped a few songs. He's saying some shit on it, but when we think about a Kendrick drop or a rollout, I don't think this is an album. I think it's a mixtape. What say you?
I think it's an album. Oh. It sounds complete like an album. It's just dope. I mean, like, just listening to it 2 or 3 times, just all the way from start to finish, like, it's a representation of where we at in the city right now. To me, it's the soundtrack of Los Angeles right now. It's dope as hell. You know what I mean? And I've been arguing with niggas all day on Twitter. They're like, all right, man. I'm like, look, we riding for the homie today, man. I better get used to that shit.
Okay, so replay value-wise, that's another thing. That's one critique I've had with Kendrick at times. Sometimes this project won't have much replay value. I do think there's some joints on here that people will play over. By the way, my favorite joint is the one where he's doing, it's like the Tupac-inspired one.
That's fire, the Reincarnated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he got some bangers on here. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all that's going to do, especially in Los Angeles, that stadium music, you're going to be hearing that shit at the games. You know what I mean? Like, when you come to the West Side, you're going to hear these songs in rotation. Like, I can hear that Squabble Up. That's going to be one of those ones. He got some real bangers on there. The Squabble Up is one of the ones. The TV Off is one of the ones. The Peekaboo. All them songs is like, you feel me? You gonna when you go to a Laker game, you're gonna hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? The upcoming Dodger games next season, you're gonna hear that. Like all the sporting events, you're gonna hear that, and that's gonna incentivize the clubs as well too. So yeah, it's a soundtrack.
Hey, the Dodgers won the World Series. Hey, it is LA on a win streak? Is California officially back?
I mean, I don't think LA ever left. I just feel like mostly everybody got us fucked up when it came down to the music side. Niggas is like, we don't fuck with West Coast music. People say shit like that. I feel like the South has been running it for a long time, and Kendrick, like, no bullshit, like, he's the savior of what the fuck that shit stands for in the city. You know what I'm saying? So just with this beef and what that shit did, and it just ignited people in LA to champion each other more.
Okay, and then I guess the thing I was gonna ask you was, so Kendrick has gotten this, and this is definitely nitpicking. This is not necessarily my opinion at this moment because I think he did a great job throwing a lot of alley-oops. He threw mad alley-oops, and I like to give, if I gave criticism, I like to give credit. He did that, right? But yeah, some people would say that when he's throwing alley-oops, he never throws an alley-oop to a nigga who's like in that lyrical box like him. You ever heard that? We're like he's not gonna put on another conscious lyrical rapper. He'll put on, some.
That's not true. They ain't heard of West Side Boogie.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, bro. It's literally, if he sees somebody, and I would say this too, behind the scenes, a lot of stuff is not said or broadcast and shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even behind the scenes, if he sees somebody working, he'll give encouraging words. I've seen him do that shit with a lot of people. He's done that with myself as well too, where people don't have to broadcast that shit too. So if he sees you working, he's going to sit there and dim the light on people and shit like that too. But everything don't have to be televised. Everybody ain't doing that shit for clout. You know what I'm saying?
He has this one line where he says, let me see, I'll try to get the line right. But
on Whacked Out Murals?
Yeah, I think it was on Whacked Out Murals, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was, let me see. He says, tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time, motherfucker. I didn't like that line. I'm gonna tell you why. It feels like well, number one, I think he's aiming at Drake. But number two, I think he's, I went on a rant last night about J. Cole, and I'm like, one thing I just can't get with J. Cole, anytime he tell us he want it feels like he's saying what we want him to say. That's not his true demeanor, not his heart. One thing I do like about Kendrick and even Drake, both of them, they're artists that they bask in being the best and they want to be the best, and legacy wise and how everything goes down, they want to be known as the greatest, if not of all time, of this era. And I always respect an artist that they're like, I don't look at that as hate. Now I do think Kendrick's a hater, but I don't look at that as hate. You're supposed to want to be the best.
He tell you he a hater.
Yeah.
He tell you that.
Yeah, but I don't think that part is hate. Like, wanting to be the best isn't hate. It's like the irrational Drake jabs. I'm like, yo, he really don't like this guy. Okay,
Man, listen, it's the competitive spirit of hip hop. If niggas is saying, hey, this is the guy that we comparing you to the number one, I mean, in competitive spirit, you're gonna take out who number one is, right? Or at least go for him in any type of capacity. And that's just and when 10, 15, 20 years go by, they're going to keep talking about these moments and stuff like that and who the people were, bro. This is the Mike Tysons and the Evander Holyfields of this era right now. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that well, you texted me this. You said this is album of the year.
It's album of the year, for sure. For us, for sure.
The album has been out an hour.
Don't matter. It's the feeling, man.
It's the feeling. Okay, another thing. And I'm probably gonna think about these things later. Kendrick has been really good on any announcement, any drop, even video releases. They're always very specific to the date. Like, it's not like he's dropping randomly. Now, I do get today's a Friday, but I'm wondering if dropping now as opposed to next week or whenever, the timing on this, he's been really calculated and clever with that. I'm wondering if this is significant at all.
It could be, though. But I just wish the Lakers would have won yesterday. That would have made it even better.
Well, the Lakers got a good team. They got a good rookie. Damn.
Yo, they have a great team.
Damn. All right. Yo, do you think that this is a victory lap of sorts? Like, I mean, they said that at Pop Out.
Well, bro, this is literally, bro, like, like even what Dot is doing with the tempos and the beats and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He's giving y'all the essence of what people are saying. Our beats sound the same. Our this is this and this is that, and he's doing it at a masterful level and putting people on from the city while he's doing that too. So I mean, he just solidified. He didn't have to have his spot solidified. It was already solidified, but he solidified, his reign on the West Coast even crazier. And this is the reason why they passed him the torch in the first place. Because, I ain't never thought that I would hear Dot on records like this, and he's doing it at a high level. So it's just crazy. It's a good day. It's a good day for LA, man. Shout out to all the artists. Shout out to everybody. Just the sport of hip hop in 2024. Our shit was dry as hell for a long time, and hip hop in general. Now, we got some type of igniting with this shit now. Everybody been able to talk about this shit. There's a lot of dope albums that came out. You feel me? But we here now.
All right, man. All right, I'm gonna see the fallout of this. I'm pretty sure he's hid some gems in there. Yo, that Pac song. You gotta
talk. You gotta talk to the homie Siete too. I want you to link with him. He really doing his thing.
Okay. All right. No.
I'm gonna link y'all.
I'm gonna check it out. Definitely. Yeah. Put us on for real.
Okay, I got you, bro.
All right, brother.
All
right.
What up?
Decent album, man. Decent album. Is it an album or a tape? It feels more tapey.
You said it feels more like, to me it feels like a tape. But here's the thing.
I like that it doesn't have a concept really either.
Well, it's supposed to be like that though. It's supposed to be, drop some shit whenever you want. I like that fact, right? Like, we're supposed to get music by these guys, in a frequent pace where we could see they're dropping music. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are supposed to they're not supposed to not release music. You have the best year. Everybody, he got the rap artist of the year from Apple Music. He put out 5 songs or 5, songs and features. Come on, you got to do a little bit more. So him dropping this tape, I like it. I do like it. Okay. And, I see a lot of people, I see a lot of Drake fans hitting me. I think they wanted me to shit on it. I get we're in this politics era, and I keep calling this the election, where it's like, if you're a Democrat, you can't admit that a Republican said anything you agree with because you're just on your side. So it's almost like gangbanging damn near. But in reality, bro, this was kind of, and I see some people say it's better than, or Untitled Unmastered is better than this. Well, Untitled Unmastered is a very integral, like, when I always said To Pimp a Butterfly, I ranked it high, but it had low replay value. This is Kendrick trying to also find that good medium of songs you guys could listen to over and over, and then songs with the message that is probably deep or heavy that you might not listen to all the time. And I think the best way is to find the balance. I think he's trying to find the balance, if you ask me. So I know some Drake fans wanted me to like shit on it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's good. I think it's a good tape, right? Now, if this was his album, I'd probably say it's a little bit above average, but it doesn't come nowhere close to how those albums are kind of being critically acclaimed, right? Like, for example, Good Kid, Mad City. And I mean, yes, it might have more replay value than To Pimp a Butterfly or Untitled Unmastered, but definitely those albums, like To Pimp a Butterfly is a just legitimate classic when you think about the quintessentials of what makes a good album. So, hey, fans, we gotta step back for a second and realize that these guys are gonna be throwing shots at each other for the foreseeable future. But we are winning when they're both giving us music, right? You know, the overt diss songs is over. Like, yes, he dissed Drake a couple times, but he's kind of just gloating about his win. Like, yo, I strangled the goat or whatever the case is.
As any rapper would do.
As any rapper would do. Like, we this is another thing I gotta say to Drake fans. We can't be that sensitive about it, right? You know what I mean? Like, when Drake came off beating Meek, like all summer 16, like he was bragging about he's just on that type of mode, right? Like, and people were like, damn, this is the energy we like. It's all good. So, you know what I mean? I'm not that much I don't care for the fact that he's dissing Drake in a sense of saying, oh, it's whack. And also, I'm going to be honest, if I was him, I would do the same. He sprinkled it enough sneak disses or little jabs at Drake to keep you interested. There was nothing that was too overtly like, oh, I'm only talking about Drake, but that is part of his story. He constantly sprinkled it in there to keep your interest. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, reincarnated, TV off. I like the singy songs too. They're a little vibe, you know what I'm saying? A little Sunday morning driving on the coastline, you know what I'm saying?
So
it's smooth. I feel like the closest album I can relate it to is Damn, just like sonically, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Damn or as poignant, maybe.
No, Damn was also a heavy hitter. This was
Damn had some shit on there that made me cry. I ain't gonna lie.
30% of this, if you ask me, was to pay off some debts. You know, I do think that conversation was starting to get a little bit louder. Like, yo, bro, while everybody's waiting hands and knees for you, yo, we're not doing as good as you. We're struggling. We don't have eyes and ears and attention on us. I remember everyone was like, nah, the payoff was y'all even coming on stage. And I was like, yo, do you realize that shit? I had to even Google that some of these guys on this album were on the concert. So people do forget. The best way is to do a collab, right? The best way is to share a song together with these people. And I think he did it. And I think he kind of paid off a lot of debts that I thought that he just naturally owed for a lot of people getting his back, or not even getting his back, but really just standing in solidarity in that moment with him, even if it was under the banner of West Coast. So I think, you know, Kendrick is doing what we've also accused him of doing, of using everybody to win a beef, which I think he definitely used that West Coast stuff to win a beef. And he's now saying, yo, listen, I'm trying to help the West Coast. He's helping popularize certain sounds and giving artists a platform. I can't be mad at something that I criticized them for doing, then he immediately addressed. I just can't. I gotta be fair.
This shit seems calculated act. I don't know, man. This shit,
it's supposed to feel calculated. What with Kendrick isn't calculated? I guess that's what I would say to you.
Yeah.
I mean, when you operate a high performing business, you gotta be calculated. You know what I'm saying?
This nigga's different, bro. Squabble up
my question is, do you think this changes the Super Bowl lineup for the songs?
You said what?
Nah.
Do you think this would change the Super Bowl lineup as far as like the songs he uses for the Super Bowl? I think that's what's most interesting in him dropping before the Super Bowl rather than after.
No, I don't think none of these songs are gonna matter to that. I think that's already set in stone. I've seen people argue, will Kendrick Lamar perform Not Like Us? He'd be a fool not to perform Not Like Us, right? He got to get through that part where at least where it goes A minor that he cuts out, right? He doesn't even have to say A minor. Let the fans say cut out there. And I'm just thinking about a really dope performance. Like, they're saying you deserve the Super Bowl. Of course, you're a great performer, but you deserve it because this was your year in terms of how hot you were. Why? What made you that hot? Okay, the beef overall, but particularly that song is the biggest song. To not perform it or to just play the beat then move on, or what, or just do the chorus then move on, that's like a slap in the face. You got to do that and the verse and all that other shit. What you said?
I was saying when Kendrick was talking about I ain't with the peace treaties and shit, you feel like he was talking about Future and Metro, or like he was just speaking like towards that?
I don't think he wrote that after this recent news came out, but I think just overall, he's saying I ain't with that bullshit, period. Like, I'm not, I think he's just realizing that some people, after we've left that moment, they're down to kind of tone the vibes down because they're saying, nah, I don't really hate Drake like that. If anything, he's telling me, no, I do hate Drake like that. I don't like that nigga still. I ain't only feel that way for the diss song in the battle. I don't like him still. And I'm good with piecing it up. I'm straight. Okay? And I actually respect it. I respect it.
You gotta respect it. Like, that's you hold a grudge like a motherfucker. How can you not respect it?
Yeah, shit. I do respect it. And it's gonna be interesting how Drake even maneuvers during this, because again, the whole album isn't a Drake diss album, but there's some jabs to him, and Kendrick does have that spotlight. Anything Drake puts out in the next month is gonna be put against this. Keep in mind, there's a Drake and Party album coming. I'm telling you already, this album is gonna outsell that by a mile. Okay. Do you put that out? Do you think about the numbers? Do you think about how people are gonna process this? Do you fall back a bit? It's interesting. One thing I've said about Kendrick, and I do think this is calculated too. Every move he's made has given Drake very small wiggle room to breathe, in the sense of when Drake drops or is doing anything, it doesn't get compared back to the moment with Kendrick that some people say he won, right? The battle. It's made it almost like we're still a week after the battle is over, when we're really 6 months removed, right?
That's your fault.
No, it's not. It's not my fault. It's literally how he spaced it out. Yo, y'all at the white party? Not Like Us video drops. Oh, word. Pop out Juneteenth. Oh, word. Some other significant day. Yo, I'm announcing I'm at the Super Bowl. Whatever. People were saying something. Watch the party die. He spaced it out really well, and that's very calculated, if you ask me.
To rebuttal what you say, do they still put out the Party and Drake album? Of course. Like you said, like we was talking the other day on stream, like we gotta stop comparing, we gotta stop looking at the numbers and focus on the music. You understand? Like, fuck the numbers for a second, focus on the music.
Well, everything definitely does matter, and as I said, yo, anybody want to take bets? We could put up $20. I say Kendrick 400 at least. 400.
I don't know, bro. And he got this free Super Bowl promo.
Yo,
just like
this album is doing 400, and I don't think there's no big single on it. But 400. This is a test of the gauntlet. This is the first snap. This is not even a full snap. This is a half a snap to see if the shit works. You got all the Infinity Stones and see if it works. And what he's gonna see is that the world stopped, because for whatever reason, like, I mean, after, the battle with Drake, he's done a great job, but like, I think this is his moment. So even though I'm considering this a tape, 400. And that's what we expect on a tape for Drake. But we're going to see it for Kendrick. And I do think whenever he's going to drop his album, we're going to see a whole rollout. We're going to see a theme. We're going to see the guy who, really compiles something that's really cohesive. And, or maybe 80's right that this is the album, but I don't think this is the album. I don't think so.
You saying
are you saying that
400?
because you just feel that way, or because you feel like this members around the industry that say they got another album?
Just because of the cohesion on the project. The project felt like I could tell when niggas put some throwaways, like no disrespect to these new artists, them songs would have never made a Kendrick album. Them songs was literally like, yo, bro, this is for you. And when Kendrick is throwing on fillers like that, it tells me that he's doing a favor. That if I'm an artist, I'll do the favor on my mixtape. I'm not doing the favor on my album.
This was a good album.
If we were to follow that theory, when do you think the album would come?
Right after the Super Bowl?
I agree.
Right after
this shit not doing no 400.
400. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Y'all remember when we used to listen to music almost every week? Man, I ain't listened to music in a long time, bro. Kendrick dropped the album. I was on in 3 minutes. That's what I'm trying to say. The point is,
no, you should have been like that when Meek dropped too, nigga.
Listen, the only person bumping that Meek album was the B.O.P. nigga. Diddy and them in jail was going crazy at that. But like, no, Kendrick got us wanting to listen immediately. Not only because we think he might be dissing again, but like we're wondering what he's going to do now that he's at this point. So I think it's 400.
It's 50-50 though. Is what he gonna do now that he at this point, and is he gonna diss Drake?
True. And by the way,
how many weeks above 100 do you think he gonna do?
3. Yeah, this won't be like one of them that just departs quickly. He's gonna. And by the way, here's the thing with me even comparing him to Drake. I believe that Drake would do. If Drake dropped the tape right now, I think he'd do 400 as well. Drake just sells a lot, right? But if Drake dropped a random tape right now, we'd do 400. But it shows that right now, and if he does do 400, it shows me that him and Drake, like he has the edge up because, he has that, I beat you in the battle and the culture or whatever loves me. But his potency as a pop star for new music, we're not talking about catalog because Drake has a way more extensive catalog than his. But for new music, he has a slight leg up on Drake when it comes to sales and consumption.
I'm telling you, Kendrick do got Drake in a leg lock. The only way that Drake get out of this shit is if he talks to his biggest supporter, man. They got it. I'm telling you.
No. Drake is fine. Right? Let me tell you one thing you got to realize you can't go against the culture. And this is the culture. And what I mean by this is culture, I don't mean necessarily Kendrick, but this is people believing and wanting Kendrick to have this moment. You can't change their minds. Now, I don't think Kendrick having a moment means Drake is done or is declining. I do think it works against him a little bit because some of the things that the culture would normally just ignore or accept from him, they're rejecting. But Drake is still the biggest artist in the world. And that's what I'm saying. Even in this moment, if Drake dropped a project, Drake would do the same numbers Kendrick's going to do, but we've never thought that Kendrick would ever be in a place where he just drops an impromptu album and does Drake numbers. You get what I'm saying? But he's here.
You never thought that?
Kendrick ain't, in terms of commercial viability, like just by the numbers, this is not me talking shit. Drake is 3 times more consumed than Kendrick. His numbers is 3x Kendrick's.
Don't release as much.
No. I'm not talking about just about the amount of music that's out there. His music just on average, like go back to the last 2 albums, right? Go to For All the Dogs and go to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Drake's music is consumed way more. But the streams on both of those albums, I don't know the exact number, but Drake's album outstreamed it. And I think it's by more than a factor of 2. So again, usually, sometimes first week sales is a demand in the moment, but like listening habits will continue for the thing afterwards. Yes, Drake doesn't outsell him 3 times when it comes to first week sales, but consumption-wise, he does. What I'm saying is that I think at this moment, the consumption-wise, you're gonna see Kendrick a little bit ahead of Drake. For if you ask me, the very first time since 2017, right after he dropped Damn, when I think he had all the buzz in the world too. But this is even a hotter time for him, and this is how hot Not Like Us was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just shows that music is changing. It keeps changing.
Yeah. For the people on YouTube who are saying, why are we talking about Drake play the damn album? We played it already. You guys are late. We played it on Twitch. We can't play it on here. It's being distributed through Interscope Records. Interscope is going to take the whole stream now. They're not playing around. They're making money hand over fist. They probably gave Kendrick the bag to drop this shit. You get what I'm saying? And yes, he's on PG Lang, but this is being distributed or at least licensed to be distributed by Interscope, which means that they cut a check. They cut a check. So he might still own his masters this and third, but they cut a check for the release or somehow the promotion and handling of this project. Anyway, let me go do some updates on the Diddy stuff real quick. Let's do this for the next like couple minutes and then I'll come back. All right, yo, I'm gonna be in Discord, but I'm gonna just be muted up for a few seconds, then I'm gonna come back. All right, cool.